Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. Hope everybody's having a very lovely day today. It is a terrific Thursday, and I've been having some technical difficulties, so we'll see how this goes. It might not be a long, prolonged, looking at everything type of live stream or recap. If you see the video later, as whenever I hover over the chart, it does this, and I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that is my difficulties of working with TradingView today, and I've tried a lot of different solutions, but it doesn't matter. It's my problem. Hopefully, you're not having this problem. But we'll kind of just run through things. Just understand, I'm not going to be changing the chart, so I probably won't even do sector recap today. And we'll just kind of go through some things, make it kind of quick. I almost thought about canceling because of that, but I didn't because there is some very important things to talk about, which we can talk about them. Spy, you can see we had a little bit of a higher open. Actually, let me get to the data first. Let me get to the data that we got this morning. We got PPI. This is very important. We got PPI came in at 0.6%. The market was expecting 0.3%. That's a pretty good beat there. It's a pretty good jump there in PPI, and not a lot of people saw that one coming. So yeah, definitely some volatility today around that number that we got this morning with inflation. So producer price index not cooling off there, and that's just another one of those data points that we've seen here over the past few weeks that inflation is starting to come back. And we'll take a look at the Fed CME Fed watch tool here a little bit later as well. See what that's telling us about what the market thinks on interest rates. Anyways, we do have a little bit of a higher open there. We did have a pull down there in the beginning part of the day, 30 minutes, first 30 minutes or so. Kind of chopped in for a couple hours, kind of rolled over there midday. You can see about 30 minutes ago, we threw a pretty nasty little lower wick there at the lower end of the day. And then we've been on rally mode kind of ever since. And if you want to, I'll show you when we get to the daily pictures kind of where we hit. But yeah, I mean, the Q's off of that low. Oh, I did it. I was wondering how long it was going to take me. I didn't mean to do that. But the Q's, very strong bounce as well. They were actually down about 0.8% or so about 30 minutes ago when we were kind of down at those lows, or 40 minutes ago, whenever that was. But you can see the Q's bouncing back pretty strong. So yeah, Q's actually just hit positive right there. Wow. All right. Let's see. IWM. What is the IWM telling us? Well, IWM is having a pretty struggle bus kind of a day. Yeah, down 1 1.75%. Not doing the best there on IWM. You can see that start to the day, first 30 minutes, that got hit pretty hard. Got hit pretty hard. The DIA, nice gap up, flushed down, first 30 minutes. Kind of looks like the Q's a little bit, and kind of looks like the SPY a little bit. Just hasn't bounced as much here over the past 40 minutes or so. Okay. RSP, currently down about 1%. Very much looks like the IWM. Very strong sell-off there in the beginning part of the day. A little bit of a bounce here over the past 40 minutes, but not as strong as the Qs. So you can definitely see right before we had this bounce, we had that rollover in the middle part of the day, or going in the middle part of the day. It seems to be like that was led heavily by a lot of other areas, not tech. Tech got hit early on, not so much middle part of the day. RSP is really having a hard time holding new all-time high type territory, and that breakdown today, that looks kind of brutal. So not looking the best there. Kind of, if you look at the past 5 days trading here on the RSP, kind of looks like we got a little bit of a double top coming in there. Gosh, I wish I could zoom in. Really, really do. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, you can see a little bit of a double top right below my cursor. I cannot hover that cursor over that chart, or we could do back in time. DIA, Dow Jones Industrial Average, nice pullback to the moving averages. Okay, IWM. IWM, man, has continued its breakdown. Yeah, people are definitely gonna be piling in on the IWM now because it's gonna look like this little high that we put in 5 trading days ago. So last Thursday. I mean, that's just gonna look like, or last Friday. That's just gonna look like a false breakout. So that's kind of a bummer there for the IWM, as you know, and it doesn't mean that the relationship of between the IWM and the Qs is going to be any different, because I think the IWM is going to continue to probably outperform the Qs or outperform the Qs going forward. But that would say for now that's probably not going to happen, which is fine. Speaking of the Qs, daily pulled down to the 20 moving average there on the daily EMA. And that's kind of where I found a nice little bounce there on the lows. So yeah, I mean, you look at the lows of the day, that's kind of where it bounced twice. So initially, first 30 minutes, sell off down, hit that spot, didn't even break that low. Then this afternoon, SPY rolling over, making a new low. Then this afternoon, or around midday compared to the morning session. So, anyways, kind of just told you that, hey, if we see a bounce, and we've seen a pretty strong one here over the past 40 minutes, the Qs might be leading it, because Qs have been kind of weak here over the past week. I mean, they have not been as strong as some of the other ETFs here out of these 5. SPY though pulling back pretty good to the 10 daily EMA. I think we'll be setting up for kind of a bearish move here very soon. It'll be I think it's going to be kind of a strong one. It's very hard to say that going counter trend. Very difficult to say. You can tell that by the past 40 minutes here of a bounce that we had. But we'll get into a little bit of why I do think we'll be having that bearish move probably pretty soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe early next week. VIX, don't forget we do get Fed next week. VIX bouncing kind of hard at that same uptrending level. Interesting. All right. So that's kind of where the VIX got roughly into that spot, bounced again. Dollar bouncing kind of strong. That is not looking good for equities. Might be why equities are kind of struggle busting today. And then, we got gold. Gold struggle busting a little bit. Not a big deal. I'd still be buyers on any kind of dips. That's about all I got on gold and GLD. But the yields, my freaking goodness, man. Look at the yield move here. I'm talking about this the past week, earlier the parts of this week. It was a really good spot to see, especially here on the 30. 30 was very clear. Anyways, sorry about that. Yields up 30, doing pretty good here on the 30-year. And, yeah, we were just kind of talking about this week. It's a pretty good spot to see yields bounce, kind of coming in and connecting with that upper trend line. And even, talking about bond prices, like, hey, is this a good spot to kind of buy bonds? And we'll take a look at bonds here in a second. I was like, I don't know about that, man. We got to see how we bounce off of this uptrending line, at least on the 30-year, because that was a very clear line. And people are now going to be making connection with, the beginning of February low and then the early March low that we put in late last week. People are now going to be connecting those lows, and that will now be a trend line support. So we'll see how that goes going forward. But it is not good that yields are climbing this much and market is not dropping like it should. It really isn't. Like this, it just kind of it's like it just keeps building. It keeps building, and once that pressure pops, I mean, we could see it come out of the market rapidly. So, anyways, that's a look at yields. Kind of my thoughts on yields. I think the yields are setting up for kind of a big deal here to keep pushing higher, which is going to be kind of rough on equities. 10 and 2 inversion, nice little bounce up. Still kind of looks like it's in this basing area. That's all we got there. HYG had a hard time getting over those 2 upper wicks, kind of, out of 4 days, over that support line that we didn't hold. Obviously breaking down today. HYG more bullish, or has been more bullish out of the three bonds that I kind of mostly look at. But the LQD obviously breaking down. We had these declining highs coming in and not looking the best. And take a look at the TLT. Kind of mentioned here the other day, like 2 days ago, the little doji was mixing in with those moving averages. Kind of mentioned, like, hey, it's not a bad spot to be looking bearish, but I wouldn't do it. I'd be a little bit. I don't think I would do it. Okay, now a big reason why is that downtrending high line that we have, which kind of corresponds with that uptrending support line that we have on the 30-year yields. It just, until we kind of broke that, I wouldn't have wanted to be, bullish on the TLT. And now you can see we're having a pretty good breakdown here, and the moves that we're seeing on the bonds, at least this TLT, like it. I mean, we could be in for a pretty good drop to continue, especially if we continue to see the yields, 10-year yields continue to push higher, and then we'll see what happens. But man, oh man, yeah. I mean, equity market is just not giving a crap, and I think it's just an opportunity to give a crap before the equity market does, because at that point in time, I think the cat will be out of the bag, and you're going to be paying more for option prices anyways, because we're not really like the VIX. You'll probably see the VIX continue to just explode higher if that happens, but you know that's just kind of all I got about that. Better. So everything's red. So everything's getting hit today. Just about everything. Energies seem like they're doing pretty good, so we saw that. But staples, yeah, a lot of things are down. We'll definitely see that on the RSP. A lot of things are down. The only things seem to be doing good in the big tech world is, well, kind of just big tech, except for Nvidia, AMD also. Both of those getting hit, but those are the only two semiconductors that look like they're kind of getting hit. Micron also getting hit a little bit, but AAPL, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon all looking pretty good there. So March we know is pretty much a lock for a hold. May, we definitely had an increase on the May probability for a hold. Okay, so interesting. And we had a pretty good increase here for June. A pretty good increase here for June for a rate hold. Interesting. Now people are like, oh, maybe we are going to see the Fed play out. Also getting some pretty good action here for July. Right now, it looks like the possibility of one rate cut by July, and that'll be the interesting thing, because remember last year, the market was expecting rate cuts by the first half, middle of the year. We never got them, but the market still went higher, and the market wants them now. Are they going to get them? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think. I don't think so, man.